shouldn't have sprouted off like that.
No, you shouldn't have. Today is
The start of your new life.
So as we know, the Tony-winning musical is getting split into 2 movies, with Wicked for Good set to hit theaters in 2025. There's already a ton of exciting info out there, but one big question remains. Does Glinda actually learn magic in Wicked 2? What can we expect from Ariana Grande's Good Witch in the sequel? Well, we're here to break down everything we know so far, so let's dive right in. From the moment Glinda, played by Ariana Grande-Butera, steps into Shiz University in Wicked, she dreams of becoming a great sorceress. But as it turns out, her journey to mystical greatness doesn't quite unfold the way she expected. At its heart, Wicked is the story of Glinda and Elphaba, Cynthia Erivo, 2 young women whose friendship and rivalry shape them into the iconic characters we know, the Good Witch and the Wicked Witch of the West. While their initial clash is fueled by their starkly different personalities, Glinda also struggles with jealousy over Elphaba's natural magical talent, which seems effortless compared to her own efforts. By the time Wicked reaches its climax, Elphaba has turned against the wizard, Jeff Goldblum, and gone into hiding, actively opposing his corrupt rule. This leaves Glinda as Madame Morrible's, Michelle Yeoh, only sorcery student, a role she only secured thanks to Elphaba's insistence. But there's always been a bit of mystery surrounding Glinda's magic. Unlike Elphaba, whose abilities are undeniable, Glinda's potential remains ambiguous. In the world of Wicked, magic doesn't necessarily follow rigid rules, leaving room for interpretation regarding Glinda's true power and whether it's something she can develop further in Wicked for Good. So does Glinda actually learn magic in Wicked? Well, that depends on which version of the story you're looking at. Gregory Maguire's novel Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West differs quite a bit from the musical and upcoming movies. For one, Elphaba never even studies magic at Shiz. She's more into life sciences, studying under Dr. Dillamond, played by Peter Dinklage in the movie. Meanwhile, Glinda is still determined to become a powerful sorceress and actually majors in sorcery. After their trip to the Emerald City, Elphaba flees, but Glinda stays behind to finish her education. Elphaba's magical skills don't fully develop until later, where she ends up at Kiamoko and she gets her hands on the Grimoire, a powerful book of spells. On the other hand, Glinda does prove she has magical abilities at several points in the novel. She's able to perform levitation and even enchants Nessa Rose's jeweled shoes to give her mobility. Though in the book, Nessa is born without arms rather than being paraplegic like in the musical. Overall, the novel presents Glinda as a legitimate sorceress, one who actually fits the image of the Good Witch from The Wizard of Oz. However, when Wicked was adapted into a Broadway musical, a lot of these details were altered. The musical version streamlines Elphaba's arc, making her a naturally gifted magic user right from the start. She becomes Madame Morrible's student almost immediately, while Glinda's journey into sorcery is far more uncertain. While Glinda still expresses a desire to become a sorceress, she is never seen performing magic on stage in a way that confirms her abilities. It's unclear whether magic is something anyone can learn in this universe or if only a select few, like Elphaba, are born with the talent. In one of the final moments of the musical, Elphaba gives the Grimoire to Glinda, telling her that she'll need to learn how to read it. But there's no guarantee Glinda will ever be able to actually use the magic within its pages. Morrible doesn't seem to think Glinda has what it takes, yet she still agrees to teach her, maybe as a courtesy, maybe because there's a chance Glinda could figure it out. Meanwhile, Nessa Rose, played by Marissa Bode in the movie, shows some magical talent when she accidentally curses Bach, Ethan Slater, nearly killing him. Despite all this, the biggest magical moments in Wicked are still linked to Elphaba, including the iconic enchantment of the jeweled slippers, which in the musical is her doing, not Glinda's. Glinda's signature bubble entrance in the musical raises even more questions. She appears to float down in a magical bubble, suggesting she might have enchanted it herself. But a comment from Elphaba hints that it was actually something designed by Glinda, the wizard, and Morrible working together. The Wicked movie leans into the idea that the bubble is a mix of magic and machinery, something Glinda can activate rather than directly conjure up herself. This makes it even more uncertain whether Glinda has any real magical ability or if she's just playing the part of the Good Witch without the actual powers to back it up. Looking at the 1939 The Wizard of Oz, Glinda's magical status is even more ambiguous. In L. Frank Baum's original book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Glinda, who is actually the Good Witch of the South, not the North, is a powerful sorceress. She can cast spells, control the elements, and is even immortal through her own magic. But the movie version dials this down quite a bit. While she does perform some magical feats, like transferring the ruby slippers onto Dorothy's feet and summoning Snowfall to wake Dorothy from the enchanted poppy field, her abilities are never fully explained. She does seem to have a deep understanding of magic, though, as she guides Dorothy on how to use the shoes to return home. Ultimately, the movie leaves it up to interpretation whether Glinda is truly powerful or if she just knows how to work with the magic that already exists in Oz. With Wicked 2 on the horizon, fans are wondering what's next for Glinda. If the movie follows the musical structure, Glinda might never master magic in the way Elphaba does, but she still plays a crucial role in Oz's future. There's a time jump between Wicked's first and second acts, which skips over Glinda's sorcery training. The movie, however, has room to explore this more deeply. A brief exchange between Glinda and Madame Morrible might confirm that Glinda never got past minor spells and instead relies on theatrics and charm to maintain her image as the Good Witch. She becomes more of a public figure, using her influence rather than raw magical power to lead Oz. Even though she never reaches Elphaba's level in magic, Glinda still ends up as Oz's most beloved figure. Her popularity becomes her real power. She's the only one who can stand up to the wizard and come out on top because the people adore her. But there's a cost to that fame. Throughout Wicked, Glinda tries to keep Oz stable by going along with the wizard's propaganda against Elphaba. In some ways, she may believe that maintaining her position is the best way to help both herself and her old friend. However, by Wicked 2, she'll have to confront the reality of her choices and decide what kind of leader she truly wants to be. At the end of the day, Glinda's journey in Wicked is less about mastering magic and more about discovering her own strengths. She might not have Elphaba's raw power, but she has the ability to inspire, lead, and ultimately shape Oz's future. While Wicked for Good may not suddenly reveal her as a full-fledged sorceress, it will likely dive deeper into her personal growth and how she comes to terms with the responsibilities that come with being Glinda the Good. Whether or not she's casting spells, she still ends up as one of Oz's most important figures, just in a way she never could have imagined back at Shiz University. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you want to stay updated on all the latest movie and series news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a big thumbs up. I'll be bringing you more updates on part 2 and what's coming next, so stay tuned for that along with all the latest on your favorite shows and movies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.